Hey, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Know Your Tracks, where we give you the opportunity to meet a different dancer from our current roster of dancers every week, besides the wig, the makeup, and the incredible dancing. In this week's installment, we have Ugo joining us from Switzerland. Hi, Ugo.
Hi, Isabel.
Let's get you started right away so we can maximize our time. Why don't you just tell our viewers a little bit about your background? Where do you come from, and how was your training before joining the Trucks?
So I'm from Switzerland, and when I was little, we moved to India for my dad's work for a year, and I don't remember much, but apparently I saw, those Indian dancers dancing with those big scarves that they have. And so when we came back to Switzerland, I would dance around in class in school. And so my teacher gave my mom a pamphlet for this studio that was in a small town in the French part of Switzerland. And I started dancing there when I was 6 and, taking a class a week, not doing much. And then I went to a school that had studies and school together in Lausanne. And that's when I knew I really wanted to do ballet in a more professional way, because I was surrounded by people who also wanted to do that. It wasn't just a hobby anymore. And then at 15, I moved to the US to come and train, because it's hard to find in Switzerland a place where you can do high school and ballet at the same time. And a lot of places in the US offer that kind of double academic and ballet training.
And you moved on your own?
I moved on my own, yeah. I mean, we were in dormitories, taken care of with chaperones, and but yeah, I moved on my own at 15, and I stayed for 2 years. I was for 2 years in DC, the Kirov Academy of Ballet, and then I came back to Switzerland for a year, and I was in a school in Basel, and then I went to Miami City Ballet School, San Francisco Ballet School, and then I joined Los Angeles Ballet for a year before coming to Trock.
And how did you first hear about the Trucks?
I don't know if I have like a specific memory of hearing about it, but I remember doing a summer course, and I must have been 11 or 12 in the US. It was the Bryanskis that used to have this ballet summer course in Saratoga. And then they had one in Massachusetts, and they would show us videos of stuff that a must see, so Sylvie Guillem in Maurice Béjart's Bolero, and these types of videos that as a dancer you should have seen and that are just incredible. And of course they showed us this excerpt that there is on YouTube of the Trucks doing Paquita. So I remember watching that, and one image that struck with me was that really tall ballerina with the glasses who does that variation with the développé, and she's holding the other one's hand. And yeah, it was always something that I knew about, that I liked very much. Ever since I saw that, I would go and watch the videos on YouTube. But it wasn't something that, I think when you're in a traditional school ballet environment, Trockadero is not really the thing you dream of doing, because you're so conditioned to doing Basilio and Corsair and doing these manly roles, and and be this kind of shirtless prince who carries a girl on stage. So it was always something that I enjoyed and that I thought was amazing and interesting, that I liked to watch, but I never really saw myself there.
So what changed?
What changed is I got kind of sick and tired of the traditional ballet world, and I had always liked doing girls' variations. I knew them all by heart better than I knew the boys' ones, but I knew I wanted to do a traditional ballet career, so I would force myself to do the boys' stuff, And when I was at Los Angeles Ballet, I was kind of getting disheartened with the ballet world, and sometimes the way you're treated by whether it's director, ballet masters, there is sometimes in the ballet world, as you know, a way of treating dancers that's not really okay. And I was like, I do love ballet, but I don't know if I love it that much to be treated this way, to be talked to that way, and to be in an environment like that. And so I was thinking about quitting, maybe going back to school. And my mom said, "Hey, listen, what about Trockadero? I mean, we've been talking about it. You've watched videos," and she thinks it's amazing. So I emailed. Yeah, go mom. Exactly. And yeah, so I emailed Rafa, who's the ballet master at Ballet Trockadero, and I was invited to come to the audition in New York, and just being there and seeing all these guys on point. And I remember you guys were rehearsing Stars and Stripes, which is like the best, most fun ballet. The music is great, and it's when you hear music of a ballet that the girls get to dance on stage, like Swan Lake, the ta na 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 na. As a boy, it's so unlikely ever going to be on stage with that music. Yeah. Wow. And so when you see them rehearsing and so yeah, I did that class in New York, and Tori gave me the contract right away, and I felt so happy that he was recognizing like my hard work and that he liked my dancing, and then I remember you said, "Oh, we have to take a picture right now if you're going to take it, because we need to do your visa." And yeah, we took that picture in the bathroom. But when you said we need to make your visa for Thailand and Japan, I was like, I'm gonna get to dance in a tutu on point, Pakita in Thailand and Japan. Where is the pen? Because I'm signing.
And you did. I've interviewed about maybe 10 or so of you guys already. And no one, and everybody has said to some extent what you've just described, that I was getting a bit disheartened, yada, yada. But you have so beautifully crystallized this image of you here as a ballet dancer that has obviously trained very hard for a long number of years. You've always heard this music that's so beautiful and so grandiose and so inspirational. And it's not the role that you get to dance, you just know that never will you be able to dance that role, and all of a sudden that music is playing and you're like, oh, I get to dance it now. That's a really beautiful image that you've just shared, so thank you. So you're in New York, you audition, everyone loved you, we hired you, and then before you were going to do that Thailand and Japan tour, the company without you, were going to go to Europe. And then you were going to be in Europe, so we asked you to come. And do you remember how crazy that week was? He was just coming to learn rep, guys. He wasn't going to perform.
Yeah, right. That's what I was told. And so, I traveled. Was it Leipzig or was it Graz where I came at? I think it was Graz.
Yeah, it was somewhere in Austria or Germany. Yeah.
And I remember when I arrived super late at the hotel. And so Takaomi was already sleeping. So it's like the first time you're really meeting your coworker, and he's like and he looks at you like, oh, walking in at midnight when we have rehearsals tomorrow. And so I showed up and I was like, didn't really know, what to do. And then the day after, I was meeting up with Rafa to go and learn. Like during that week, he had put a 3-hour-long rehearsal every day for me to learn stuff, just me and him in the studio, which was just so much information, like all at once, because we did Raymonda, Swan Lake, and different spots. And he was like, oh, in case you might jump into this, but we're really just learning it, but you might jump in. And then I did White Lady that first night.
Right.
And I went on stage when I wasn't supposed to, and I didn't come back in for the bows. I don't know if you remember. And it was very stressful because I wanted to, of course, you show up and you want to do the best that you can, and you're new, so it's also like all eyes are kind of on you in terms of like, I wanted to impress, Rafa and Tori that were there in the studio. You want to give it your all. And then what happened is when we did go to Leipzig, someone got injured last minute, and I had to jump into Swan Lake that I had done just one time on stage, and that was so stressful. And I remember the stress overpowered everything in that moment, because I was already in the white lady costume, and you came and you were like, you're in for Swan Lake in 5 minutes, so you might want to, put your tutu on. And for white lady, I had the cap. I didn't even have the wig, so I had to like do my bun, and my makeup looked terrible. But as soon as I was on stage, the adrenaline, and I didn't mess up the choreography the first night because I was so into it. It was the day. It was the day after that I did. But that first night, and I remember just standing in the wings and talking about the music when the Swan Lake music started playing. And I looked down at my feet, and I had the pointe shoes on, and I was just like pushing my foot over the pointe shoe and looking at my tutu and the sparkles all up here on the corset. I just couldn't believe it. It was like the best moment ever.
And then you're like,
But
oh,
that was yeah. It was very intense, those first weeks, and very stressful, but it was a learning experience. And then coming back for the rehearsals in August before going to Japan felt like a breeze.
right. Well, you started
I was,
literally with a trial by fire, you know? I mean, cartoon like zip up your costume, good luck, let us know, you know? It was totally like that. We've had several instances like
and
that
Tori,
over the years, but, you know.
I'm sure. And
Yeah.
Tori came up to me and said, I think you're one of the first people who's had his premiere knowing he would premiere 5 minutes before the premiere.
Yep.
And I was like, that's probably, yeah. But
Yeah,
it
I mean,
was,
to me, to people that have been in the company for a really long time, to you, when you prove that metal and that tempo, that's exactly when you realize, okay, this person is made for the road, or this person maybe it's not so ready to be in a touring dance company, because the conditions change constantly. And if you're not able to roll with the punches with a certain level of good cheer and some sort of sunny disposition, the job becomes really hard, you know. But talking
yeah.
about the very first day you jumped in there and how far along you've come, how did you learn to do your makeup? Did you know before? I kind of remember you having like really basic makeup. How was that process for you? Because your makeup now looks great. So
It's getting better. I'm working on it, and at first I hated doing it because I didn't know what to do. And I remember I would ask my coworkers. I'd be like, "Oh, like what am I supposed to do here?" And a lot of them would be like, "There are no rules to makeup. You can do whatever you want." And I was like, "I just need a little bit of like a guideline. I'm not asking for rules. Just like where." Yeah. No, what happened is that before I came to Germany or Austria, I didn't have any makeup, so I knew like a week before that I was supposed to come. So I went with my mom to the pharmacy here in Switzerland, and we bought all this like organic bio makeup that just absolutely doesn't do it. Like you cannot.
Terrible for stage.
Sure, absolutely. But it just didn't. It was like liquid foundation, and now I have the crayon on stick. And you've got. I mean, you paint like a clown, like we say. It's you can't just do. Cover girl, don't cover boy, is what they said to me when I showed up in that dressing room the first day. I didn't even have a fake eyelash. I had like one lipstick, some foundation, and I bought some L'Oreal highlighter, La Vie en Glow. I just didn't have the stuff for it, but now I'm learning. I'm actually enjoying it, and I miss now that we're not on tour and we're not, getting ready for the stage as much anymore. I miss sometimes taking that moment. It's almost therapeutic makeup when you start enjoying it, because you sit in front of the mirror and you just work on making yourself pretty, and that's all you think about. You put your headphones into your music, and I'm starting to really enjoy also that little moment of like preparation before the show of choosing, well, you know what, I'm doing this color today, and just like doing something for you. And also, for the show and for the...
Right. And bringing that character to life through the makeup that you're doing, How about the pointe shoes? Are they still hard for you? How is that journey coming along?
I would slap the pointe shoes on like once in a while, even before joining Trox. I liked it a lot, and but I always did like PKs. I would always go straight onto the pointe shoe. I never did stuff that was releve. So yeah, So you can do a double PK, a triple PK, but when you have to do a pirouette or any kind of, when you have to releve it, it's completely
different. Yeah.
Yeah, it was and it was frustrating at first, I think, because at Trucks we don't have a point class. We have a normal ballet class, and if you decide to put the point shoes on, you decide to put the point shoes on, and that's up to you. So I think it was frustrating because we would get to center, and I would want to do the combination, and I knew I could do it the way I knew I could do. And then you put the point shoes on, and that tiny little thing that you add at the end of your foot completely changes your center of balance. You feel like a deer in headlights, and everything you knew is thrown out the window. And so it was really frustrating at first because you could be doing better. But now I'm getting the hang of it, and I'm liking it, and I think it's changed my dancing. And Rafa said, you'll see when you get on the point shoes, your muscles and your legs will change and your muscles will elongate. And I think I've learned to use my core a lot more now that I'm working on point. So I think
equipment, it's just an extra piece of equipment that you have to learn to work with. So yeah,
totally. But I think it made me grow.
Yeah, exactly. What have you enjoyed the most about being a truck so far? Maybe things that we've already said or something different.
There are so many things, to be honest, Isabel. The traveling. Yeah. Traveling so much. It's so amazing. Going to places you've never been before and being able to go there for work. I mean, we call it work, but to put a show, yes, it's a lot of hard work, but it's such a pleasure at the same time. And like we said, dancing on those beautiful musics that the girls get to dance to that we don't get, and putting the tutu on and kind of living this fantasy. It's been fantastic, and it's made me grow as an artist, as a person. Yeah, I am. Well, not right now, but
right now. Speaking of, what are you doing right now to keep yourself balanced now that we're however many months into this situation?
Well, I've been lucky in Switzerland. The situation hasn't been so terrible. So the ballet studios reopened in May, and now for the last month and a half, they've been closed because they're on holidays. It's like the school holidays. But the rest of them, they've been open, so I've been able to go to my old school and take classes at the studio and keep in shape a little bit. Because at the beginning, when everything was closed, at home, you can do a bar every day, but you don't have the room to do a center. And I love ballet. It's all fun and games until center is what you like because you're dancing. Bar is, but it's hard to have the motivation to do a bar every day. You know, it's like working out pointlessly. It was hard to find the motivation.
Yeah. It's like working out for all the time to get to center. So yeah. Is your mom? Yeah. Are your parents enjoying having you home?
My mom is loving it. My dad for work is in the US. He's been in Ohio for 3 years now. So he's also stuck there. I haven't seen him since. And I think he's saying it's kind of tough. But my mom's really happy. She's like, I wish you could start working again, but I'm so happy you're here. But it was a little bit of an adjustment because it's been 6-7 years that I don't live home anymore. So at first he was like, oh, it's all great. And then we had to, respect each other's distances and limits. And with my sister, you know how it is. But yeah.
Good. Ugo, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat with me. What you don't know is when we started recording this series, Ugo was like one of the first people I got to chat with. And now, just before releasing the interview, we just realized it's been almost 2 months since we've been recording these with all the dancers. So he so kindly agreed to do it all again. And I will confirm that the second round has been even more fun than the first one.
Really?
Right? Before I tap you for final thoughts, I do want to take a moment to remind anyone who's watching that closures and cancellations have greatly disrupted the access to revenue for artists like Ugo, and dance organizations, arts organizations alike, like the Trocs. If it is within your power to donate because you're enjoying all of this free content you are seeing on social media and the like, please consider doing so. It's going to be really great for all arts organizations. If you wish to donate to the Trocs, you can do so by going to trockadero.org/donate. I've also included the Trocs Instagram handle and Ugo's Instagram handle. Give him a follow, give us a follow. Yeah, Ugo, final thoughts you want to say about this crazy times we're going through?
I mean, thank you guys for watching and supporting Trockadero and the arts. And yeah, stay strong, stay motivated, keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully the sooner the better. But we'll get out of this, and we'll be back on stage, and we'll be able to share what we love with the audience, and the audience will be able to come and watch the shows live, because it's not the same watching them on screen. Yeah, I hope we all get back together, and you and me also, Isabel. Miss you.
I miss you. Yeah, like Ugo said, everybody, please come see us live. Us and any other dance company out there. Performers the world over perform for you. They need an audience to do their job to the best of their abilities. So I'm sure we'll see you soon in a city near you, hopefully. Until then, stay safe and keep on trucking. Thank you so much, Ugo.
Bye.